Fuck me.
I wish that was my name. Fuck me, Federico.
One day she was on the cover of Vogue, and then, phew, she was gone.
Then, just as quickly and dramatically, she vanished from it.
I woke up and there was a clothes hanger and lots of blood.
We're here today with Fabrizio Federico, local filmmaker from Derby.
Yeah, how's it going?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you doing?
Excellent. Good to be here.
Tell us about the film to start off with. So you're here promoting...
Yeah, Teddy Bears Live Forever is the new one that's coming out next year on New Year's Day. And it's about a teenage it girl who has a mental breakdown, and she develops multiple personality disorder. She's got 6 multiple personalities, and one's crazier than the other. And I kind of based it on a lot of these it girls that, I don't know, I've always been attracted to girls with like self-harm. I get a lot of girls who...
I think that comes from a nurturing sort of...
Yeah, I guess so. But, you know, I usually fancy him as well, but that just happens to be one of the things. But I kind of wanted to go into the female psyche. I've never done a film based on, you know, a female character that's really edgy. It's mainly been based on guys. So, you know, it's been like a nice learning process as well, learning about people like Marilyn Monroe, Judy Garland, Edie Sedgwick, Gia, who was like a model in the 80s, and she ended up getting AIDS. But, you know, she was a superstar for a couple of years, like a comet. And then, poof, she was gone. I've always been attracted to characters like that, yeah.
What's it been like writing for a female character?
Well, I don't write scripts. It's all improvised. I've got an idea where the film's going to go, and I just direct it, because I didn't star in this film. I'm all behind the camera, so I kind of... She's the only person really in the film, her and her grandfather, so it was just working directly, one-on-one, which is pretty intense, because, I mean, it's kind of like bedroom cinema. We were just in the bedroom together, and I'd tell her what to do in this certain scene, what kind of vibe I was after, and she'd do it. I mean, she had a lot to kind of fall back on. You know, you got 6 personalities, and it just depends which personality comes out. I think everyone's a little bit schizophrenic anyway, so it was fun getting into that.
I remember you saying you like to often work with non-actors and stuff. Was that the case for this film? How did you...
Yeah, I mean, she hadn't done anything for a while. I mean, I think if you're an it girl, you're a bit of an actress anyway. Yeah. So, you know, it was more about her, like, exercising her demons, because in the character, she wants to get rid of a certain personality called Sam, who's... You know, she's big into ultra-violence, she's very sexual, even though she hasn't lost her virginity, and this is what April kind of focuses on. Maybe if I lose the virginity of this character, even though she's lost the virginity, her body's lost the virginity of this character, so she's in 6 like levels of consciousness, if you think about it, because one of her characters is a child, one of them is an animal, another one is this like bratty teenager type of thing who's driving her uncle crazy. So I really focused on that element of it, exercising the demons. And it's great because she's in this room and she's just completely like screaming and going all out, like trying to get rid of this poison that's in her. And it's a bit like voyeurism in a way, but I don't know, I'm really big into films like The Idiots and things like that. Fantastic. Yeah, I don't know, so it's almost like you don't know if it's a film or if it's a documentary. It's cinema verite, really, I guess.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's the thing. The film kind of draws on many themes such as like UFOs and existentialism and stuff. Where's all that? What brought all this to you?
Oh, I don't know. I believe in UFOs, and you know, she used to live in Hollywood. She joins this UFO cult, and she may have got raped. She may have not got raped by this cult, and that's kind of what drives her around the bend type of thing. And she moves back to London. I don't know. Do you believe in UFOs?
I do. Like, I've never had concrete evidence, but sometimes you look up to the sky and you're like, that doesn't look like a plane. Yeah. Doesn't really look like a star. Yeah,
we can't be the only living beings in the whole universe.
Oh no, definitely not. Definitely not. Like, I think it's quite arrogant to assume so.
Oh yeah, I'm into conspiracy theories, especially I don't know, like JFK, like assassination. conspiracies and things like that. The only one I'm not too sure about is the world being flat. You know, I think that's bullshit.
Well, I was thinking about this. I think like the theory sort of behind that is not so much that the Earth is flat, but not really just blindly believing in everything that science tells us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I think with science, if we're just told, if we just believe everything that the facts and data have told us, it's no more so than believing, say, the Bible. You know, what the prophets have told you.
Yeah, you got to question everything. That's why conspiracies. I mean, the 9/11 thing is a bit ropey. Have you seen that footage of the bombs going off like this down?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, yeah, we're not being told everything. So yeah, you got to question these things.
The conspiracies often fuel like your creative ideas and stuff.
All sorts. Each film has been like a different topic. I mean, this one's It Girls and UFOs. The one before this was the occult and ghosts and the paranormal and let's see, a folie à deux relationship and serial killers and things like that. So yeah, this was a bit off the track, you know. But that was fun. I went up to Scotland. I went to Aleister Crowley's house, and that's why I did the soundtrack, really. So it's got that element to it, yeah.
What if you could put it down to one thing? What would be the influence for this film?
Women.
Who influenced you?
Women. Yeah, women. Well, as I said, these it girls, these shooting stars who get exploited, but they're celebrated at the same time. So it's a, you know, I mean, what would you do if you were like 18, 19 and everyone's offering you the world and all this money and all these drugs and, you know, it's very hard to resist the devil sometimes, isn't it? So, yeah, you can't really, yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of them that end up dying, don't there? I mean, can't remember her name, but one of them died recently, didn't she? The one with the lobsters.
She was one of Hollywood's greatest sex symbols.
Alex doesn't come out very often. You won't meet Alex, probably. I only get notes very occasionally from Alex. He's not very nice.
But yeah, women have been the inspiration for this movie, definitely.
People in general and stuff. But what was it like handling the friction between the characters within this film, particularly with her, a lot of with her multiple personalities?
Oh, the 6 personalities roaming around. Yeah. Well, it's just confusing because you don't know who you were talking to from one minute to another, which, I don't know, I really sympathise with her because she's a martyr in a lot of ways, like Joan of Arc is, and there's a big theme to this movie. I mean, it's not just trauma, it's the fact that she kind of wants to become a better person. I mean, that's kind of like a elemental goal of humanity, isn't it? Yeah. And I think the main thing of the movie for her to get over this bad trauma is touch. I mean, touch is like it's all your 6 senses all together when you touch. So the fact that she's alone in a room, I think, is kind of what's bothering her. She's trying to get over this by herself, but at the same time, it's easier to get over trauma when you got someone there and you can touch them, you can hug them. I mean, you can hire professional huggers these days, can't you?
Yeah, I've seen.
You know,
there's like that hotel in Japan, isn't there, as well?
Oh yeah,
you can just go
and I think that's going to be even bigger business as the years go by, because everyone's getting more and more isolated. You know, behind their computers. You know, it becomes a bit more difficult, doesn't it, to get relationships going?
Socializing's all virtual now and everything.
Yeah, need a bit an old school element there as well, you know. But yeah, she needs a bit of atomic attraction.
Atomic attraction? What does that mean?
I don't know. You know how it is when you get smitten with someone and you just see them, don't you? And you forget about all your other problems and nothing else matters.
Oh, I miss those days.
Yeah. Nah, well, that's what's so beautiful about it. You don't know when you're going to come across that. You know, you don't know who you're going to come across. And it's usually when you're not looking that you come across a person that you get smitten with, which is cool.
I think that's often like the thing with sort of many fixations and goals. They never seem to come to you until you almost like relinquish a little bit.
Yeah, it's weird.
Which is weird. I guess that brings me on to a question of like how you see your film career, like chasing film stuff. How do you see it currently now?
Well, I made a lot of mistakes when I first started. I mean, I told a lot of people to go fuck themselves and, you know, things like that. I was a bit of a, I mean, I'm still a bit of an outlaw when it comes to that. You know, if someone pisses me off, I do tell them. I don't play the game. I've never played the game. I mean, even when I go to like film festivals, I have a tough time sucking up to, you know, I don't know. I just never been able to do that. And some of my views, I've been kicked off of radio stations mid-interview sometimes because they've asked me certain questions that I've answered honestly, and sometimes, especially Brexit, which I guess goes for the
representing today.
Yeah, pop art. Yeah, pop art. Well, I don't know. We shot ourselves in the foot a bit, I think, with Brexit, but we'll see. How many years we got left?
Like.
Not long.
Yeah, not too long. You're starting to see the changes now.
Yeah, just give us the second referendum, and you know. But what was the question? Oh, about me. Yeah, I don't know. I think being a beautiful disaster is more interesting. It's sexier, you know. I'd rather make all the mistakes. I'd rather like burn bridges. If sometimes bridges aren't worth mending, you know.
I was saying, yeah, no, you've got quite a punk aesthetic. I wonder how important is being punk to you within this industry. Is it helpful?
It hasn't gone in my favour. You know, it hasn't gone. But I've met a lot of cool people. I mean, once in a while you meet a cool person who doesn't care about rules, or you know, there's too many rules in this industry, and a lot of the time they're not very bright either, which really gets on my nerves. Like when it comes to promoting a film night, they're a bit lazy, which has always bothered me. I think a film night should be interesting. You're not just put it on Facebook and put it in the book brochure, you know, do a bit more. And a lot of the time they don't want to do that, which bothers me. So I just end up putting on the film night myself. But it's weird. My films have been bigger outside of the UK. Like Mexico shows my films a lot, and I'm trying to get my films into North Korea, which should be fun, I think. Yeah, so...
Even with the anti-political sort of statements.
I don't know. My films aren't really too political, but I just think it'd be funny showing them in North Korea and going to North Korea.
Why do you think your films get more interest outside the UK?
Because England's too polite. I mean, I grew up in America where people, you know what Americans are like, they're loud. You know, it's I don't play the game. I mean, it's as simple as that. It's I think there's an audience for these types of films. I mean, midnight movies make money. All you got to do is promote underground films and indie films a certain way. I mean, not everybody wants to see the same old. My films are non-linear, so they're different to most films that you see in the cinema. I mean, I don't know, it's tough. I mean, a lot of the films that I like, you don't see in cinemas. So it's not just me having this problem. It's kind of a big thing for lots of other indie filmmakers as well. And yeah, there's quite a few of them that are really pissed off. I mean, I'm being laid back about it, but there's other ones that I know about who are practically having a meltdown over it as well. Yeah. So, you know.
So what's your next project about? Once you've finished with all the publicity and everything for this?
Well, I'm working on. I've actually just started. I'm filming it in Blackpool with a variety act, and he's a ukulele. He's a genius ukulele player, and he can do like George Formby impersonations and Noel Coward and Mr. Sophistication, and it's about him. He kind of gets a #1 hit in Yemen, a pop hit that fails in the UK, but he gets a #1 hit in Yemen. So. I don't know. We'll see where it goes.
Is that a statement on your films perhaps being appreciated more?
Yeah, I guess it is in a way. Yeah, but I just think it's bizarre. I mean, I'm big into comedy as well. I love Rick Mayall and I love Dudley Moore and Monty Python and the Bonzo Dog Doodah Band. You know, just this crazy comedy. Yeah, the Bonzos are great. But yeah, it's more of a comedy, a bit more lighthearted. I've done a couple of heavy films for last few years, so yeah, it's gonna be a bit more light-hearted. Yeah.
Well, that'd be done in a sort of documentary. I know you've done documentaries before. As the
that was under the alter ego Jet Hollywood, though. I promised to do two movies as Jet Hollywood, and then he committed suicide. So I put this suicide note out online, and it kind of went viral. And kind of like what Ziggy Stardust, like David Bowie did with Ziggy Stardust. He did 2 albums as Ziggy, and then he killed him off on stage type of thing. So why should rock stars have all the fun, right? So yeah. So I did that for a bit. No.
Bring fiction to reality.
Oh yeah. No, this is a film, but it's more comedy. A lot about comedy and all that.
Okay. What's that called again?
I haven't got a title yet.
Oh, okay. Working title.
Yeah, but the hit song's called Yeah Man.
Yeah, man.
And I think the reason but that's why it becomes a hit in Yemen.
Okay.
So yeah, we haven't written a song yet, but we're on it.
Oh, let me know.
Yeah, me and Anthony Mason. He's gonna be playing Max Sapphire.
Okay, Max Sapphire. Okay, cool. Sweet.
He's a coxman.
I look forward to hearing the hit song.
Yeah, me too. Anytime.
here from Independent Cinema. I'm Leon Crimes. This has been Fabrizio Federico. Thank you.